ArtsPower National Touring Theater. ArtsPower is a professional theater company that produces live theater for young and family audiences throughout the nation. Each year they create a new script, music, sets, costumes, advertising, and performance schedules. How does it all happen? Who decides which story will be produced? Who writes the play, sews the costumes, makes the sets? This is how it starts, with research, discussion, and lots of planning. Mark Blackman, Gail Stone, and Gary Blackman meet with artistic director Greg Gunning. They reach a consensus on their next production, Anne of Green Gables. Greg immediately begins writing his first adaptation of the book. Each draft of the play is brought back to the team for debate and refinement. More than just the plot needs to be translated from the book to the stage. Social themes and character development are crucial to the play's success. Greg sends lyrics to Rich DeRosa.
Rich, Greg has given you some lyrics for the show.
Yes.
And I don't know what you thought about them, but I know they're just lyrics at this point. So.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's definitely workable. Let me just run these by you in terms of just the pacing of the lyric itself before we assign anything to pitch. And I heard it like this: 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. When you imagine someday you find what you need. When you imagine you find a home. I've kind of come up with something here that I think might work. So I'm in F major here.
Okay.
The play is reaching its final form. It's time to develop the technical side of the production. Greg consults with costume designer Fred Sorrentino and with company manager Chris Clark. They discuss colors, styles, and stage design.
This is for Mrs. Lynn.
This is Mrs. Lynn.
Right.
And the last person is Matthew. We're going to use it's simple enough. He
overalls.
He winds up in overalls in navy. That's very, very simple, which almost connects him to Anne in the blue.
I thought for the set idea, and this is just the model, so bear with me because we don't have all the pieces. But basically, the two main pieces are the rolling platforms. Of course, these two units are on rolling on casters, so the set can be turned as the show goes on.
The sets need to convey different places with very few pieces. The stage must be transformed into turn-of-the-century Avonlea, the setting for Anne of Green Gables. The sets will be built in New York City. At Red Dot Studios, David Renee is used to dealing with lightweight but impressive-looking sets.
At the moment, all the activity in the shop is centered around some scenery for a cruise ship that will be going out in the Caribbean in about 2.5 weeks. The process for us starts when we get blueprints from the designer. They look like this. Things like this. And it's from drawings like this that we build items that resemble this. Once it's painted, it'll look like a wrought iron trellis on top of a building. Designers also supply us with color renderings of elements of the scenery. These are building facades that will be painted on a piece of canvas, the inside of a garage, and color ideas for the rest of the scenic pieces. You can see we're constructing a piano here. We'll be painting various scenes on the paint deck over there. So that's what we're working on at the moment.
While Red Dot Studios builds the sets, Fred Sorrentino adds finishing details to his costumes.
This is Mrs. Lynn.
Right.
I added these appliques in her puff sleeves to really emphasize the lines about her dialogue. The buttons are not real.
I was going to just say, that's going to take too long for her to get in and out.
That would take forever. It's simple Velcro.
Perfect.
So she can get in and out of this.
So part of Mrs. Lynn is a part that could be any size.
But this is a very fitted style, so if we use this style, you're going to wind up needing more than one.
Auditions begin. All actors are professionals and members of Actors Equity, the Actors Union. After 2 days of auditions, the chosen actors sign contracts for the tour. Chris gathers actors to read through the script. The actors are looking for difficult speech patterns and convincing character portrayals.
Not too much anger. We don't.
No, not at all. I wouldn't even, anger isn't even really right.
Speaking of that, does it have the true feeling of the book?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's what he did a really good job with.
Meanwhile, back at the home office, Gail has been working with graphic artists to create promotional material. Logos for each show, promotional pictures, and brochures all have to be created and reviewed. Over 500,000 children and adults in 40 states see ArtsPower performances each year.
Hi Julie, this is Gary Blackman from ArtsPower. How are you? Good, nice to talk with you again. I just wanted to get back to you regarding our conversation from last week. You said you were firming up your calendar. We're coming off a week's performance at the Kennedy Center in Washington.
Hey Mark, how's it going?
Nice
Good to see you.
How you been?
Come on in.
Good, so, from our last meeting, you came up with some stuff, you told me.
Yeah, basically just still utilizing the piano, but in that real grand sense. So,
Good.
you know, taking that sweet theme, and I don't know, just figure out, I don't know if you have any preferences in terms of who you want to play melody. I just thought pretty much it seems like a nice thing with the violins, you know, or the string section playing the main melody, and of course a couple of nice counter lines and French horn, and just a lot of support. You know.
Rehearsals start. In a rehearsal studio in New York City, the cast walks through the play and practices the songs.
So Eric, you're the conductor. And what's your cue for that, Stephen? It's cue 2. Right, okay. And the line cue is you would imagine. Yes. So let's take it from his cue.
You imagine?
Living in an orphanage, a person needs an imagination. And I've imagined your town just like this. It's certainly better than those other places I've been. Well, Mrs. Spencer says it's bad to talk like that and to just be satisfied with what you've got, but I don't agree. Do you? When you imagine someday you find what you need, when you imagine you find a home, if you imagine the answers will come to you. If you imagine, can you imagine? Just imagine.
The actors have had 9 days to learn and rehearse the play. The performances have been booked. The route is scheduled. The advertising brochures are printed. The sets work well. The costumes are finished. The music has been orchestrated and recorded. Anne of Green Gables is ready to go. It's time to pack up and take the show on the road. 2 performances a day, 6 days a week, for 6 consecutive months. These actors will perform ArtsPower's adaptation of Lucy Maud Montgomery's classic story. Anne Shirley and other residents of Avonlea will come alive for American audiences. All the work has paid off. Anne of Green Gables is a success.